I understand the politics of it, and I get why it's an emotional issue for people in a place like South Carolina. I get it. I don't agree with it. I'll say unequivocally what I think about it, but I get it. But the more we're learning about this and the more we're seeing how this terrorist attack and the Republican response to it sort of plays out, we're seeing things that are even more nefarious than just the cowardice of Southern politicians and the South's inability to sort of fully and definitively discard a poisonous history of that region in American history. What we're seeing is that, according to reports in The Guardian and other places, and Matt will get to this in a bit, Dylan Roof, and I think it's been confirmed, had a racist manifesto online. And this manifesto was, exactly what you'd expect of a none too bright, socially isolated 21-year-old who turned out his hatred on the world and centered it on race. And there's all sorts of, it's hateful, it's pseudoscience, it's everything else. And he got his numbers and his ideas and his beliefs and really even the quote-unquote statistics, which led exactly to the line that he told those people that he murdered in cold blood in Charleston, which is that you're raping our women and you're taking our country, from a site called the Council of Concerned Conservative Citizens. Council of Conservative Citizens. Now, you may have heard of this group from many years ago because Trent Lott spoke at it. And if you recall, Trent Lott, a little bit before our time, but Trent Lott was the Senate Majority Leader. He was from Mississippi, I believe. Southern, good old boy guy. And it was commonly referenced and said, look, this guy spoke to the quote unquote gentleman's KKK, which is really what this Council of Conservative Citizens is, right? Like, they're not in white sheets. They're apparently not out committing terrorist attacks. Who knows what they're really up to? They just get together in suits and ties and have luncheons and preach obscene race science. He spoke to this group. He never disavowed, really, in any type of strong or robust terms, segregationist policies. And then it all came to a head when at Strom Thurmond's birthday party, I think it was, he said, look, I voted for him when he ran for president. We all voted for him down south. And if he had won, we wouldn't have had all the problems we've had over these years. And then all of a sudden, everybody was just sort of forced to acknowledge that, oh my God, it seems like the Senate Majority Leader of the United States in 2002, I believe it was, is an unrepentant segregationist, so he has to go. So this group has a history. This is the group on whose site Dylan Roof got his quote-unquote facts. The founder, the presider of this site, is a guy named Earl Holt, who has given $65,000 to Republican campaigns in recent years, while his inflammatory remarks, which have been ascribed to his name, and they have not been denied, have included, quote, that black people are, quote, the laziest, stupidest, and most criminally inclined race in the history of the world. That's one thing that's been posted in line of his name. Holt is 62. He's the president of the Council of Concerned Citizens, a Missouri-based activist organization cited by the Dylan Roof in his manifesto-style text that was posted on a website along with photographs of the gunman. So let's talk about who he gave money to. Holt has contributed, since 2012, contributed $8,500 to Ted Cruz. He's also given $1,750 to Rand PAC. Holt also contributed $1,500 to Rick Santorum. And in the past, I believe he also contributed to Mitt Romney. Now, when Ted Cruz's campaign was alerted to this, they actually gave back all of the money. So far, I don't think Santorum or Rand Paul have done that.
Santorum has just announced he will give away all the money.
Santorum is returning his money. Any word from Rand Paul?
I have not seen anything from Rand Paul.
Constitution.
Well, the Paul family's already made a number of...
You're right.
Has already made money throughout their history.
Absolutely. So this is another example of when you donate at that level, your calls get returned. Okay, that's like you're hosting $1,000 plate fundraisers. They know your name when you donate at this level. And anybody could do a basic Google search and say that this guy, Earl Holt, is an active racist. And then you go to Donald Trump. And again, yes, he's a total buffoon. And he's a demented, silly sociopath. But he did just come out on national television and say, look, Mexicans, I like some of them, but mostly drug dealers and rapists.
I think you're even making it sound much nicer than it was.
Yeah, it does
like
sound.
All drug mules and rapists. I'm sure there are a few nice ones,
Exactly.
but for the most part.
Right. So we talked last week about how you cannot distinguish the cultural threads. And now you see you cannot distinguish the financial threads. And just today, this same group that has contributed all this money to major marquee Republican candidates has released a statement. This is the Council of Concerned Citizens that says, quote, and this is according to their spokesperson, Jared Taylor, the C of CC unequivocally condemns Dylan Roof's murderous actions. However, just pause again to reflect on an act that took in cold blood 9 people that you'd been hanging out with and for 45 minutes to an hour in Bible study because of your fantasy about starting a race war to, murdering 6 women, 3 men, cold blood. Is there really a however after that condemnation? Well, for the Council of Concern, the Council of Conservative Citizens, there is. And the major Republican donors, there is. The C of C unequivocally condemns Dylan Roof's murderous actions, spokesperson Jared Taylor said. However, the council stands unshakably behind the facts on the website and points out the dangers of denying the extent of black on white crime. So in other words, this kid was right. And in fact, it goes on to suggest, quote, this is dangerous. Our society's silence about these crimes, despite enormous amounts of attention paid to, quote, racially tinged acts by whites, only increased the anger of people like Dylan Roof. This double standard only makes murderous frustration more likely. So there you have it. If you haven't returned these checks, condemn this person, we have to consider a Republican Party that even if you have already had the lowest imaginable standards for it, which I certainly do, you have to consider it in even a worse light if that's possible. Absolutely disgusting.